You are curious about your birth chart, and somehow you come across the term Vedic astrology. You're interested to see what it says about you, so you build your Vedic birth chart. You start seeing some interesting things, like planets not being in the signs that you used to, or the chart style looking completely alien to you at this point. Why is that? And how is the Vedic astrology different to the more commonly known Western sun sign astrology? Hi, I'm Elena, a Vedic astrologer. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will cover the basic differences between Vedic astrology and the more commonly known sun sign astrology. You may have noticed that when you calculate your birth chart, the planets end up being in completely different zodiac signs when you calculate the Vedic birth chart versus the Western birth chart. Why is that? The key difference between Western and Vedic astrology lies in the way that we calculate the birth chart. In any astrological system, when we need to calculate the birth chart, what we look at is the position of the planets in the sky relevant to the Earth. To do that, we divide the sky into 12 different sectors and we see which of these sectors each planet occupies. To divide the sky in this way, we need a starting point, which is a reference point. And this reference point is what defines how these sectors are being calculated. And this is where the fundamental difference between Vedic and Western astrology begins. Vedic astrology uses actual constellations as its reference point. This means that the 12 constellations known to us as zodiac signs are what defines the sectors in the sky, as they perfectly align with them. This approach is known as Sidereal zodiac, and this is what Vedic astrology uses as its reference point. Western astrology, on the other hand, does not use actual constellation as its reference. Instead, it relies on Earth's position relative to the Sun. As the Earth orbits the Sun, it passes through 4 key points: spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and winter solstice. When the Earth reaches the point of the spring equinox, Western astrologers consider this point to be 0 degrees of Aries, and from this point on, the whole zodiac is calculated with planets in the solar system being relevant to the position of the Sun. In other words, planetary positions in Western astrology aren't actually tied to the constellations of the zodiac signs. This is called the tropical zodiac. It's important to know that when these two systems were first developed, both systems were aligned. However, due to the precession of the Earth's axis, the position of the equinoxes gradually shifts over time. As a result, the starting point of the tropical zodiac also shifts. Over the past 2,000 years, the two reference points drifted apart by almost 24 degrees. It is worth noting that the latitude of one zodiac sign is 30 degrees, which means that the two systems are now almost one full zodiac sign apart. This is why, if your sun is in early degrees of Aries in Western astrology, it will still fall in Pisces in Vedic astrology. Now, let's look at some of the fundamentals of the birth charts in both systems. As you probably have noticed, the two charts look very different. So how do you read them? Here's how you read a Vedic birth chart. It is worth noting that the Vedic birth chart is available in 2 styles, North Indian and South Indian. Both are shaped like a square, but for the purposes of this video, I am going to focus on the North chart style. In the North Indian style, the shapes of the birth chart are the houses. This includes diamonds and triangles. The diamonds are the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house, with the top diamond being 1st house, and other houses moving in this counterclockwise motion. The numbers that you find in the shapes are the numbers of the zodiac signs. They're not numbers of houses, they're numbers of the zodiac signs. For example, number 4 is Cancer, 11 Aquarius, and so on. And of course, the letter inscriptions that you find in the shapes are the planets themselves, like Venus, Jupiter, Sun, and so on. Western astrology style chart is completely different to this, of course, and it features this round style chart where the edge of the chart has markings that indicate the zodiac sign, the number of the houses, as well as the icons that represent the planets themselves. You can also see a lot of lines in the Western style chart, and these indicate correlations between planets, most of which are aspects. An important difference is that Vedic astrology considers one zodiac sign to equal one house. So if you see number 4 in your first diamond, that means that you're Cancer rising, and your first house is also Cancer, second house Leo, and so on and so forth. In Western astrology, however, the signs do not equal houses houses, where one house can share two zodiac signs, or one zodiac sign can span two houses. The longitude of each zodiac sign depends on the degree of your ascendant and the actual sign that is rising when you're born. Did you know that Western and Vedic astrology consider different sign placements as your main zodiac sign? Like so, of course, you're familiar that with the Western sun sign astrology, your sun sign is your main zodiac sign. This way, if you're born on April 5th, you're an Aries, or if you're born on November 10th, you're a Scorpio. It is that simple. However, with Vedic astrology, we understand the main zodiac sign slightly differently. It is worth noting that in Vedic astrology, sun sign is also important, but it comes third in importance to the rising sign and the moon sign. Let's look at these two. The rising sign is the sign that is rising on the eastern horizon at the time that you were born. In Vedic astrology, it can also be called Lagna or the ascendant. Why is this sign so important? You see, the rising sign is specific to the time that you were born and also to the location that you were born. All 12 zodiac signs rise on the eastern horizon at one point during the day, which means that one zodiac sign remains on the eastern horizon for approximately 2 hours. Now, that is a much smaller window than when you compare it to the sun, which stays in one sign for 30 days, give or take. Since the ascendant sign changes on average once every 2 hours and is specific to the location that you were born, it is a lot more accurate and niche in describing your personality and defining your entire birth chart. For this reason, the rising sign is understood as the main zodiac sign in Vedic astrology, and this is the sign that we use to describe the core personality traits, values, beliefs, and even sometimes physique. Rising sign can be any of the 12 zodiac signs, which means you can be born on June 19th with a Gemini sun, however, be a Sagittarius rising, and you might notice that in that case, Sagittarius sign description might fit you even better than Gemini. Moon sign also plays an important role in Vedic astrology because it shows how your mind works, how you process feelings, emotions, how you understand the world. It is like your own personal filter of a reality in the world that you live in. Moon sign changes on average once every 2.5 days, which makes it a lot more specific to you and your mind, your emotions, and your personality in general than the sign. Now, it makes sense if you think about it, because a lot of people can be born in the same 30-day window as you, sharing your sun sign. However, only so many will be born in the exact same day, the exact same location, sharing these three important signs: rising, moon, and the sun. Now, let's talk about one other fundamental difference between Vedic and Western astrology: the planets. When you look at a Vedic birth chart, you might notice that you're missing Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, as well as some constellations like Chiron and Lilith. Instead, we're reading the positions of the lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu. They are always on an axis, meaning if one is in Aries, another one is in the opposite zodiac sign, in this case being Libra. These aren't planets in that they don't have physical bodies like Sun, Mercury, and other planets of the solar system. However, they have this very unique capacity to seize our consciousness in the same way other planets do, which earns them this Graha status. Graha means planet in Vedic astrology. Rahu and Ketu are instrumental in understanding the most potent desires of a person in this lifetime, as well as understanding the areas of life that can be prone to the extremes. This rounds up the basic differences between Vedic and Western astrology: calculations, chart styles, main zodiac sign, and the planets. There are many more unique features and differences that Vedic astrology offers, and I will talk about them in one of my next videos. If you like this video or are interested in all things astrology, karma, predictions, celebrity birth charts, give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel to be sure that you get notified when I release new videos.